Hey, what up, beautiful people? You are welcome to video one in the College Campus series. In this video, all we want to say is university time is your most pivotal time. Or I simply want to tell you why university time is one of your most pivotal times in your life. My name is Steve, but you can call me Steve the Rev. Once again, if we're meeting for the first time and you've never watched any other video, my name is Senyonjo Steven, and I am an ordained minister. I'm a pastor with a church. It's called Worship Harvest Ministries. Now, because I am an ordained minister, you're supposed to call me Reverend Steven, but you can call me Steve the Rev, aka the Reverend. Now, in case you don't know why we are here, this is inspired by a book I wrote. It's called The College Campus, Charting Your Course to a Purposeful and Fulfilling University Journey. This book was written for those that are at university, those that are on a journey, those that are going to university, at university, or just about to wind up their university journey. Why? So that you can live very purposefully, so that you sow the right seeds now in this season for the fruit you want to see later in the future. Now, with no further ado, of course, if you want a copy of the book and you don't have it, I would encourage you to get it so that it accompanies this video, because it's part of the whole experience. You reading the book, going through this video with your friends, and you growing together. Now, today we are talking about this being your most pivotal season of your life. All right, now that we have that out of the way, let's get started. Imagine you are on a journey, and as you're walking down this journey, you're supposed to maybe go to a given destination. Let us say you're going from Kampala here and you're headed towards maybe Mbarara. That doesn't have to be the case for you. I just picked up some places here in Uganda. You could be in a different part of the world, but you know what I'm talking about. So you are on this journey and you're supposed to be headed somewhere, but you get to a T junction or a Y junction. Now, a T junction, when you get to a T junction, you often have to choose between turning to the left or right, depending on where you are going. But we always know that whatever direction you choose to take, it may take you to your promised land, or you may never get to your promised land. It may take you to the unpromised land. The same is true for university. While you are on a journey, you want to become a doctor, you want to become a philanthropist, you want to become a pastor, you want to become a businessman, you want to become a great accountant, and there's so many other fields that you can pursue. You want to become an aeronautic engineer, and of course, the fields are endless. But walk with me on this one. It would be very important for you to treat this journey on the way to whatever future you want very critically. Now, when you come to university, that means you have come to your junction. You have to choose either to turn to the left or right. All the decisions you're going to make are going to impact the future. You know, university is not just about, having a great time. Some of you have been living with your parents for a very long time, so you can't wait to have a blast because you're away from all these guardrails that you had around you. Your parents always telling you, man, come back home at this time. Do not waste any time. Do not play around. Don't talk to girls. Don't talk to boys. Don't play around. Follow your dreams. Pursue your books. Now you are away from that. Now you have the liberty to do whatever you want. Now you see yourself as an adult, and that is all true. But university is more than that. It's about you pursuing your spiritual growth, you pursuing your academic growth, you pursuing your personal growth, you pursuing your academic growth, you pursuing different talents, different gifts that you've been given. All of that comes together because it will have a play in your future later on. So that's why I need you to critically think about your time now. Let me read for you a scripture. And this is what it says. In the book of Psalms 90 verse 12, it says that, teach us to number our days that we may gain a heart of wisdom. In this season, you'll face decisions that will determine the trajectory of your life. So you need God to guide you so that you can number your days well, so that you can live intentionally and not blow it or waste it. But if you're watching this video at a time when you feel like you have lost it, you've botched it, you've made a couple of decisions that have not been good, I have great news for you. All hope is not lost. There's still time for you to turn it around. And God, who loves you above all things, is with you. So stick around with me. Now, the book of Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, to everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under the heaven. Well, university is like a blank canvas. Now, if you don't know what a blank canvas is, imagine a piece of art. Many painters use a canvas, it's like a cloth, they paint onto it. A blank canvas, that means there's nothing on it. It's simply white and there's nothing happening. And the artist has to choose how to paint that canvas. Maybe to put some greens on the canvas, maybe to put some reds, maybe to put a photo. Maybe you're going to paint an animal. Maybe you're going to put a portrait of a person. Maybe you're going to paint a landscape. You are the artist. So you choose what happens on that canvas. University is a canvas for you. You choose how to paint it. What do you want to do? Do you want for it to be filled with the paintings of just parties? Do you want it to be filled with just the classroom? Or do you want it to have only ministry, church, spiritual life going on? Or you want it to be a mixture of things? You had books going on, you had parties going on, you had church going on, you had heartbreaks going on, you had relationships going on, you had strikes. I know some people in some universities, you're well acquainted with having strikes. Students are always striking for whatever reason. But listen, university is like a blank canvas. You can either let others paint it for you, or you can take control and create something truly meaningful and beautiful. Remember, at the end of the day, the person who is painting simply wants to have a beautiful piece of art. Now, can you critically think about the kind of canvas you want to have at the end of whatever study time you have at university? For some people, it could be 2 years. For others, it could be 3 years. For some, it could be 4 to 6 years. Depending on what you're doing, you get to choose. Now, of course, I have some assignment for you to think about critically right now. This is what I want you to do. I'm going to give you a break for just about 4 minutes. 4 minutes, and there'll be a timer on the screen. This is what I want you to do. I want you to ask yourself this question. What kind of person do you want to become by the end of the university time? What kind of person? So I need you to write down in great detail what you want to become, the kind of person you want to become. What kind of grades do you want to have? What kind of friends do you want to have? What kind of associations do you want to be a part of? Do you want to have a job or not? Do you want to have friends or not? Do you want to go clubbing or not? Do you want to attend a few parties or not? Do you want to have some part-time work? Do you want to create some experience with that? Do you want to be leading a church by the time you're done? Do you want to, be already practicing and well employed in whatever field you're pursuing? So you get to answer that. The second thing is, what is one decision you've made recently that aligns or doesn't align with that vision? You know the things that you answered in one, the kind of person you want to become. Now, this next question is asking you, what one decision or what decisions have you made that support who you want to become, or that don't support who you want to become? And I can even take it a notch higher. Check this out. There's something called the stop-start rhythm. It's called stop-start. You stop doing something and you start doing something. It's more like saying yes or no. Every time you're saying yes to something, you're saying no to another thing. Anytime you're saying no to something, you're saying yes to another thing. So what are you going to start doing and what are you going to stop doing? But I want to add a little twist to that. I don't want you to just think in terms of start, stop. There's sometimes we have things that we can improve or we can change. So you can say start, change, stop. Start, change, stop. So what do you want to start doing? What do you want to change? When we're talking about something that you want to change, it's something that has been a little bit mediocre, but when you change it for the better, it becomes a positive. And then what do you want to stop? What do you want to put an end to? With no further ado, you have the time. Hey, welcome back from that. Did you know that your identity is being shaped every day? Your identity is being shaped every day by the different things you're experiencing, the people you are meeting, the people you are talking to, the people you are not talking to, the games you are attending, the meals you are having, the places you are traveling. The different experiences along the way are shaping your identity. But listen to what the book has to say in 1 Peter 2:9. It says, "But you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, his own special people, that you may proclaim the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light." You see, you are created by God. No one else created you but God. I hope we don't need to have a back and forth conversation about it. And I hope you believe that there's a God. Because if you look around you, there's enough evidence to tell you that God created you and created the whole universe. But if you feel like you don't align with that, maybe you believe in a certain force that created you. We can work with that as well. But listen up, you are created for a purpose. When you look at the manufacturers of the Mercedes-Benz or the Renault or whatever car you may talk about, they create a car for a certain purpose. Some cars are made to carry heavy loads. Some cars are made for the purpose of driving very fast to win a championship. That's all their purpose. We all have different purposes. So for you to find out what your true identity is, what you are created for, it's best you go back to your manufacturer, that is God. Have you ever talked to God and had a conversation with him about who you are meant to be? But do you know that your personality is also being shaped by the things around you? When you look at a child growing up, or when I just need you to think about the family in which you grew up, it shaped your personality. It shaped who you are. Either you had your father present or you didn't. You had both parents or not. You had siblings or not. Your parents had wealth or not. Or the schools that you also went to, where were they located? Was it a single school, like a single sex school, or it was a mixed school, a mixed sex school where you have both male and females, both girls and boys going there? When you look at the decisions, how you make decisions right now, it's based on the different things that have shaped you. So you'll easily find that people that come from a certain family think a certain way. And those who come from a different family think a certain way. So now when you come to university, your decisions, one, will be dependent on what you experience while you are growing up. But on the second hand, as you go through university, university will also shape some of the decisions you'll make in the future. So then that means one of the things that you need to have at the back of your mind is settling who you are. What is your identity? What were you created for? Find that out. But you can only find it, or you can start with reading the Word of God. If you make the Word of God your friend, God will reveal to you who you are and what you are made for. Of course, I can go deeper into this, but I have a short video series, and yet I would like to take you through a lot. So, but now I have a few questions for you that I would like you to answer, and you can ask yourself these questions. You can reflect upon them together with the people with whom you may be watching this. Now, here's the first one. Who or what is influencing your decisions right now? And two, how can you ensure that your decisions align with your purpose? Now, before we go into the break, let me tell you a little story about me. Of course, you know my name is Senyonjo Stephen. I grew up in a family of 11. It's a big family. The way I've made decisions through my life have been dependent, or the way I've made decisions has largely been dependent on my siblings who are older than me, my parents, and how they used to make decisions. The way I handled money for a long time has been influenced by my father and my mother's habits. Some of those habits were not good, some of them were good. Some of the very good habits were generosity. So generosity is an easy thing for me. But when it came to the side of savings, that was not easy. But on the other entrepreneurial side, I'm easily entrepreneurial because of my parents. Being dressed smartly has been influenced by my brothers and my sisters. Having deodorant has been influenced by my sisters. My sisters one time called me and they had a meeting with me where they basically told me that I was in my puberty stage and I was smelling. So I need to start using a deodorant. So that's how I got introduced to knowing that I'm in my puberty stage and I'm not really smelling funky. That's not one of the conversations you really want, but it's one of those helpful things. So because of the experiences I had with my sisters, my brothers, that influenced who I am. And the other thing is I'm a preacher's kid. My father was a minister. I say was because he went to be with the Lord. But church influenced who I am. My decision making has been largely influenced by church, siblings, and my parents. So maybe you also have influences that determine your decision making. So that's what I want you to do right away. I've just shared a little bit. So now go ahead and reflect on those things, on those questions. Welcome back from that. Now, I want to ask you a question. Imagine your future self meeting you a couple of years, your current self, a couple of years later, let's say 30, 40 years from now, and your future self meets your current self. Would your future self say, thank you? Thank you for the decisions you made in the past. Because of the decisions you made in the past, I'm here. I've seen all of this success. I passed my exams. I now have a PhD or master's. I'm now a church planter. I run businesses. I'm a multi-billionaire or I'm a multi-millionaire. I'm a philanthropist. I'm doing all of this great stuff. I think now you see where I'm going. Decision making. What decisions are you making now? Listen to what the book, when I say the book, I'm talking about the Bible, not necessarily the college campus. When I'm referring to the college campus, I'll sure as heaven let you know. But listen up. The book of Ephesians 5:15-16 says that See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil. You know, sometimes we may live life like, oh man, I have forever. But one of the best things that can happen to you is meeting someone who is older than you, and you ask them, what would you change about your life if you are my age? If you were to come back in time, what would you change? What would you do better? And you know, you'll find so many famous people, people who have achieved great things, and even people that have not achieved much. You know, sometimes we simply want to go to the house of celebration to get our learning, and yet we can also go to the house of mourning. You see, in the house of celebration, you find success. In the house of mourning, you find people who have gone through failure. It doesn't mean that they have totally failed at life, but they've hit hiccups and maybe failed to surmount certain mountains. So when you find someone older than you, you go ahead and ask them this question. If you are my age, what would you change? Would you do better? What would you improve? And that will give you an insight into wisdom. It will give you access to things that you would have never thought about. You see, you need to make the right decisions now, not later. That's why I ask you, what relationships do you want to be a part of? Do you want to be dating at this time or not? And I'm telling you, I don't think dating is bad at university. I think it is okay, but it just has to be in a rightful environment. And one day we'll talk about relationships of that nature. But what friends do you want to have? Because you are the average of the 5 closest friends or the 5 closest people to you. So who are the 5 closest? Because they are affecting the average of your life, the average of your income, the average of your success, the average of your grades, the average of how high you can go in life. They are even affecting how you communicate, how you behave, how you deal with people. The friends that I studied with at university had a great effect upon me. Now, I had 2 varying groups. I had 2 mutually exclusive groups. I'll tell you about them. I had a group of friends with whom we were doing the same course, but we were a smaller group. And shout out to all of my friends. The group was called N30. For some reason, there was no real reason for calling it N30. It's just a name that came up. But with my group, the N30 guys, quite often we were thinking about spiritual growth. We were thinking about academic growth. And we were a close-knit friend. We were a group of close. It was a close-knit group of friends. It was a very good group. But on the other hand, at university, I also had another different group of people. Now, these were my gangos, my boys. We were watching movies together. We would joke about life. We would watch football. We would talk about girls. We would talk about cars. We would never go deep on the academic side. We would never go deep on the spiritual side. So many of them, in spite of being a preacher's kid, I never preached the gospel to them. Why? Because we'd be talking about girls together. We'd be making fun of people together. We were not serious about the other side of life. Now, when I look at my life right now, many of the good things came from this other group. And those have been some of my longest lasting, deeper connections in life. And these are some of the people I still call up to date. And I'm like, hey man, I'm going through this tough time. Or I'm looking for an opportunity. Could you help me open a door? Do you know someone somewhere? Those are my people. Matter of fact, even on my wedding day, because I got married earlier than many of my friends at university, these were the people that had sensible things to say about me at my wedding than the other friends. One day I will also tell you about what my friends said at my wedding. I mean, one of my friends just kept on talking and speaking and saying, and everyone in the audience was like, what is he saying? Until my other friend who came from this group got the microphone and said, hey, we celebrate you, Steve. Steve is a great man. He's a generous person. And they spoke life. So be careful. The decisions you're making now. Watching movies. One of the worst decisions while at university for me was watching movies. The other second worst decision for me was not attending fellowships. We used to call them fellowships, a group of people meeting together to sing, praise God, and listen to the word of God. And I mean, I'm a preacher's kid, and I can tell you the most I attended fellowship was once while at university. But when I look back, now that I'm a pastor, I'm thinking I could have used that time better. I should have attended. Because when I think back, one of the biggest pastors in our movement, the Worship Harvest movement, he's called Pastor Blessed Ivan. He was leading fellowships while at university. When I look at the trajectory of his life, it's very different. He's a great teacher of the Word of God. But I don't want to bog you down with all of this other stuff. The good thing about all of this is that you can mess up in life, but there's an opportunity for a turnaround. While I messed up my spiritual life while at university, I got a redemption. There's a story that was turned around in the process thanks to Worship Harvest Ministries. So now I'm an ordained minister. But when I look back, I say, I should have switched that. Now, with no further ado, I don't want to. Let me take you to this next part. I want you to ask yourself and answer these questions. What habits or routines can you start now to live more intentionally? What habits or routines can you start right now? For example, reading a proverb a day. For example, being generous, giving away money daily if you can. The other thing that I think you can do, just waking up early. Wake up 5 a.m. every morning. How about you prayed every day for 1 hour daily? How about you picked up a book? For many people, you go to university and you're not big on the idea of reading books. Books generally. Books like this, college campus. Books like the ones you're seeing in the background. Books that can help you grow and become better. How about you say, I'm reading 10 pages per day? Or I'm reading a chapter daily of a book. It doesn't have to be related to my academics, but it is a book that I'm reading. What are the different habits? The second question, what's one change you will make this week to align your life with your purpose? Remember, the book of Proverbs 21:5 says, the plans of the diligent lead surely to plenty, but those of everyone who's hasty surely to poverty. Go ahead and answer those questions and see you after this short break. Welcome back. I obviously know you're listening to me, you're thinking, and I'm giving you quite a lot of information. Well, that's why I set this up for you to be in position to do this with a group of people so that you can do it together. Now, the book of James 1:22 says that, but be doers of the word and not hearers only. Many of us are tempted to just listen to stuff and not act upon the stuff that we hear. I don't want you to go through this video series just listening. Act upon something. Even if you just say, I'm going to do one thing, start reading a book quickly. Even if you just say, okay, there are 31 proverbs in the Bible, 31 chapters in the book of Proverbs. That means you can read a chapter per day. If today is the 1st of the month, read chapter 1. If today is the 15th of the month, read the 15th chapter. If today is the 26th of the month, you read the 26th chapter, and you will grow in wisdom. I really need you to think about who you want to become, what you want to do with your life. I want you to take action now, not later. Live like no one else now so that you can live like no one else later. I want you to reflect. Spend time thinking about what you want, who you want to become, what you want to see in the future. Connect. Share your thoughts with trusted friends or a mentor or a mentee. I know right now it may be hard for you to be a mentor to someone, but I know for sure you can mentor someone even when you're at university. Why? At university, you're a certain age, you have experience in life. You can help someone that is younger than you get better. If you don't believe me, stick around. The other thing, I want you to join the journey. I want you to join me on this college campus journey. There's a special group for those that are really intentional about their personal growth and seeing more out of it. It's called the Vanguard. The Vanguard is a community of like-minded people either joining university or about to leave university. And in that community, we get to talk a little more about life. We get into all of these topics because I've talked about a number of things today, but I want us to do a journey of 1 year, of 6 months together. 6 months or 1 year, and we are going down this journey and we are talking about all these things that we can pursue together so that you can grow. Because sometimes you need someone to walk the path with you, someone to hold you by the hand. How about you join the community? So the Vanguard is a community for people at university who would like to see all of that come to pass, all of the things that I'm talking about. So go ahead and reflect on the different things. Think about the different things you want to pursue in life. I want you to connect with other like-minded people. So if you've kicked off watching this video and you don't have the other people you're watching it with, I invite you to get other people to watch this video with so that you can grow as a community together, because growth loves the right environment and people will help you. So for the next 6 minutes, I just want you to write down 3 goals for your time at university for the next couple of minutes. 2, share them with a group or accountability partner. 3, pray over these goals, asking God for wisdom and courage to follow through. For the next couple of minutes, you just have about 6 minutes to do that. Just go ahead and think about these things, reflect upon them, and I need you to pray. If you're with a group of other people, I want all of you to stop what you're doing at the end of it all and pray about it so that God helps you with your purpose. Now, this is what I leave with you. Proverbs 3, 5 to 6. It says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. Friends, thank you so much for coming and watching this. I encourage you, go ahead, pursue growth in your life. Pursue this journey with other people and seek wisdom. Don't forget, if you don't have the book, The College Campus, get yourself a copy of the book, The College Campus. It's only 25,000 Uganda shillings. That's about almost $8. That's less than $10. Go ahead and get yourself a copy. You can follow the links. All of the links are in the description. And I talked about a community. It's called The Vanguard. The Vanguard is a community of people who are intentional about their personal growth while at university. For more details, you can go ahead and click on the links. Otherwise, see you very shortly. Bye-bye.